first down. Well, just first down just by the edge.
Boy, it don't look like it from here.
Just by the tip of the football. First down for Oakland. But now that I think about it, if we finish fourth, we'll go play at Soddy Daisy, the champ from region in Chattanooga, and that's going to work out pretty good for Lebanon then.
Well, the ball at the 34, but if the Blue Devils don't show a little more than they have here tonight, it might be tough either place.
Oh, absolutely.
First and 10 for Oakland with 1:12 on the scoreboard clock. Counts underneath, giving it to that fullback every play now. Lebanon going to stand him up as he crosses the 30 to the 31, but that's not the big question right now. They want to run that clock off all they can, so they're just giving it to big Emerson Williams behind that big forward wall of Oakland. They're slow, but they are big, and they move people out for a couple of yards. And he gets 2 on the play. It'll bring up second down 8 with 1:02 on the clock. Oakland leading Lebanon 10-6.
Secondary hurt us, and offensively just not the execution that we saw last week against the Green Wave as the Patriots here they would like nothing better than to knock off Lebanon, and you talk about a good ending to a sour season, and that's what it looks like it's going to take place for Oakland. These guys have been through the battles this year, and only 2 wins coming into tonight, but the situation reversed now as they're going to send Lebanon home with a loss totally unexpected.
Well, maybe this will be a lesson for the Blue Devils as they head into the playoffs. You've got to be there.
Just can't come in and punch the clock. You got to get it done every night on the field.
Here's Oakland, 1:02. They hand it to the fullback again. Not much. He may have not even got back to the line that time. Not a lot by Williams, but they don't need a lot. The clock is the big thing. 51 seconds, and it is ticking. Under 50 now, and the clock is running, and Oakland is keeping it piled up out there, and that clock is still running, and now they finally get them off the football. Oakland playing it smart. They're in no hurry to get up.
Well, Oakland doing a good job of time management, and Wes Counts runs all the way over to the sideline to make sure he's got the right play called, as it looks like Oakland is going to come away with a 10-6 win over Lebanon, as the last snap of the game looks like will be coming off right now.
Counts under center. This will be the last one, barring a miracle, and he's just going to take a knee, and the clock is going to keep running, and Lebanon is going to go home a whipped pup.
That's going to do it. Oakland defeats Lebanon by a score of 10-6. 10-6, Oakland over Lebanon. We'll be back with the post-game show after this 2-minute timeout.
The post-game show with sideline reporter John Bryan and Blue Devil coach Bob Dillard. Brought to you by Fates and Hooker Decorating Center, your Porter paint dealer. Southern Home Furniture, Auto Parts and Service in Lebanon, Carthage, and Gallatin. College Street Church of Christ Youth Ministries, and Harris Brothers Cabinet Shop.
The mathematics of what's going to happen in the playoffs as Lebanon drops to 6-4 on the season. Oakland improves to 3-7 with a stunning 10-6 win over the Blue Devils. They score 10 second-half points and hold on to beat the Blue Devils by a score of 10-6. Now, the playoff ramifications, if we're not crazy, the way this thing works out, we drop from 3rd to 4th in the standings. Gallatin, with only 2 losses, improves to 3rd place. Lebanon finishes 4th and will play at Soddy Daisy. Soddy, an upset winner over the folks there at Red Bank. We're going to send it down to John Bryan on the field with Blue Devil head coach Bob Dillard and the post-game show. John, if you're ready to roll, you can take it away.
Thank you, Tommy. This is the post-game show with your head coach, Bob Dillard. I'm John Bryan. Coach, a big emotional win last week. The letdown seemed to have happened this week against Murfreesboro Oakland.
There's no excuse for the way we played. We didn't block people. We didn't play well defensively, and there's no excuse for the way we played tonight.
Coach, looks like, if our information is correct, that we're going to be traveling to Soddy Daisy Soddy Daisy, a 14-7 winner over Red Bank tonight. So we're going to be heading toward Soddy Daisy to take on the number 1 team in the region, and we end up in the 4th place.
Yeah, I guess all that's true. But who we line up and play really doesn't matter. If we play the way we played tonight, if we play the way we played last week, we can play with anybody. But evidently, we're not prepared to do that week in and week out, and that's my fault.
Coach, Chris Stafford looked a little hobbled there at the end. Did his sprained ankle injury from the first half come back and haunt him in the 4th quarter?
I don't think so. Chris ran pretty hard, and I don't think it was severe enough to bother him.
Coach, Ryan Allens didn't play tonight. He is pretty much questionable, or will he be ready to go next Friday night?
Well, the doctors told us that to make sure that he was ready to go next week, not to play him this week. And that was the decision we went with based upon their recommendations, and that's why he didn't play tonight.
So we'll be traveling to Soddy Daisy, Tennessee to take on Soddy there at their home field. Coach, good luck in this week's practice, and let's get them in the regions. So we'll take it back to the station now for a 2-minute timeout, and then we'll be back for the wrap-up.
The post-game show has been brought to you by Faiths & Hooker Decorating Center, your Porter paint dealer, by Southern Home Furniture, by Auto Parts and Service in Lebanon, Carthage, and Gallatin, by College Street Church of Christ Youth Ministries, and by Harris Brothers Cabinet Shop.
University, you heard our post-game interview with Blue Devil head coach Bob Dillard. Obviously disappointed, and Lebanon got a lot of work to do in practice, and that's the best teacher is back on that practice field, especially when they look at the game film and then get back out on the practice field, trying to correct some of the things that went wrong. And emotion, such a big part in the football game, as we see those red-shirted Oakland football players headed off the football field toward their locker room. They close the regular season and end their season on a winning note, whereas the Blue Devils go into the playoffs with this disappointing loss, 10-6 to Murfreesboro Oakland. Terry Stafford has got our wrap-up of all the stats, and here's our man with the numbers.
Thank you, Tommy. Lebanon is defeated tonight by Murfreesboro Oakland. Lebanon falling to 6-4 on the season, 4-3 in the region, and finishing 4th place in Region 4-5A. Recapping the scoring in the game, Lebanon on their first possession marches 80 yards in 15 plays. Titus Kelly scoring the touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run by Kelly. The extra point is blocked, and at the end of the first quarter, and actually at the end of the first half, Lebanon led 6-0. The only scoring in the second half came from Murfreesboro Oakland, scoring first in the third quarter, 3:43 left in the third quarter. Brent Robinson kicked a 24-yard field goal as Oakland marched 55 yards in 14 plays. At the end of 3, Lebanon still led 6-3. In the fourth quarter, with 9:20 left in the game, Wes Counts hits Jonathan Lee for a 7-yard touchdown pass as Oakland goes 68 yards in 7 plays. Brent Robinson came on and kicked the extra point, and that's how we got our final as Murfreesboro Oakland upsets Lebanon tonight 10-6. I'll take a look at some of the final stat